Peace. Good day, good people. My name is Akil Taffe, and I build culturally grounded wellness programs, right? Yoga, mindfulness, breath work, meditation, movement, calisthenics for kids, athletes, communities, and professionals. I'm also the founder of Conscious Crusade, and I'm also a former record label executive. I worked for major record labels my entire career, over 30 years, including my internship. And how I got started was I'm originally from Chicago, and I transferred to Howard University in 1993, the summer of 1993, majoring as a physical therapy major. Originally, I thought my job, I wanted to be a physical therapist for the Chicago Bulls, right? I figured, I'd have Jordan and Scotty coming into my office Monday through Thursday and Friday. I'm down there in Chicago Stadium, you know what I'm saying, in sweats. That was initially what I transferred to Howard for, to major in physical therapy. But they phased out the physical therapy program. So I couldn't get a bachelor's in physical therapy. And I had transferred there as a second semester junior. So I would have had to get my bachelor's in biology and then apply to a school of physical therapy, which would have been like 2 to 3 year track. And I'm looking like I'm a second semester junior. So I went to the skeletons of the various departments, the School of Business, School of Communication, and looked at looked at, lined up the credits I transferred with the various degree path, and I caught the first thing smoking, which was telecommunications management. So while in school, I was an on-air personality for the student station, WHBC, Howard Broadcasting Channel, not WHUR. Not, you know what I'm saying? And shout out to WHUR fam over there, Alan Tracy. But I was an on-air personality for WHBC. And a young lady that had a shift before mine, she was like, BMG Arista is coming to interview for internships. It's a paid internship, and you get to travel. And I was like, word, a paid internship. And you get to travel where? She was like, Philly or Richmond. And I wasn't necessarily excited, but I was like, why not? You know what I'm saying? I was open to it. So I messed around and faxed my resume. This was back in the day. We had fax machines to this woman in New York named Kirsten Benke. And, she scheduled an interview. The interview was in Atlanta, Maryland. For those who know, in the DMV, it was in Atlanta, Maryland on Derrickwood Lane. I walked in there, and I hadn't heard I didn't really know what BMG was. BMG Arista, I knew Arista had, I knew Arista was a record label. They had Whitney Houston, but I didn't know how all the labels fell up under it because BMG Distribution, that was the name of it. So when I walked in the door, nice off. So I walk in, and the first person to greet me was Nipper, the RCA dog, looking into that megaphone. And I saw all the plaques on the wall. I was like, yo, what the have I done stumbled into? Because again, I transferred, of course, everybody thought they could rap. You know what I'm saying? Definitely Akil. Because so when you hear it, don't fear it. Bitch, get near it. Because Akil is short for always kicking ill lyrics. Yeah. So I walked in there with the plaques. I'm like, uh-oh, we on now. Nah. But so I messed around and secured the internship. And that's when I learned how it's a distributor and all the labels that fall up under it, right? Because BMG, like, and our competitor was Polygram and Universal, but up under BMG, the labels were like Jive, RCA, and all their affiliate labels like Loud Records, and also Arista and their affiliate labels like Bad Boy, LaFace, Dallas Austin Rowdy Records. So, you know, and again, we were distribution, so it was all about retail. It was the CDs, the vinyl, and the cassettes. Yep, the cassettes, particularly the cassette singles, you know what I'm saying? Because I remember we used to, as an intern, my job, it was flyers, creating flyers, packing the cassette singles, 99-cent cassette singles, you know what I'm saying? Doing those sale campaigns. And anytime artists, would come around, we would help we'd be at the record stores with them. But yeah, that's what my internship was about. The mailroom. I was the mailroom. Them envelopes, yeah, posters, posters and flats, yeah, organizing those. Did that for 2 years, graduated, caught my degree, class 95, School of Communications. You know what I'm saying? It's named after Kathy Hughes now. Shout out to Kathy Hughes. Salute to the Queen, Kathy Hughes. And I secured my first full-time job. My first full-time job was Philly. Yeah, I was a field marketing rep, a FMR. And in Philly, I covered the tri-state. It was my job to go into record stores. So I was based in Philly, but every day my job was to go into record stores, hang posters, take them down, you know what I'm saying, make sure they had the product, track how much product they had. If we ran sales on the end caps, make sure it was prominently displayed. Whenever an artist would come into Philly and go to the record stores, me or somebody like me we were executing that, right? So as a field marketing rep, I was there in Philly from 95 to 97, 95 to 97, and I moved to Detroit. I was the Black Music Product Development Coordinator for still BMG Distribution in Detroit, though. And I covered the Mid-Ohio Valley, basically, you know what I'm saying, Detroit, since Cleveland, Columbus, yeah. And again, same thing. Met a lot of good brothers in both those cities. Like I still got my guys up there today in Philly and Detroit. Man, I'm saying got a lot of good men in Philly. A lot of good men in Philly. Still because again, I still worked in Philly. With yeah, but this is from the gate. I'm started and still to this day have a lot of good brothers in Philly. And I had met a lot of good men in the D too. Definitely got love for all them good men in the D. Yeah, they took care of me. Yeah, back in the day. Yeah, a lot of good dudes, even from Howard. You know what I'm saying? From Detroit. Yeah, and Philly. So yeah, Detroit and Philly, man, they were good to me. I got a lot of good people. I met a lot of good people in Detroit and Philly, for real, for real. Yeah, I got a lot of good friends in Detroit and Philly. Still friends to this day. Stay and still connected to this day. You know. So I appreciate that. But yeah, so in Detroit, my job was I was the point person for all the retail for BMG. So over that entire region, everybody from Cleveland, record stores in Cleveland needed something they needed something from Biggie, they hit me. You know what I'm saying? They needed total product, they hit me. I'm calling them, how's it selling? What the kids asking about? What's their favorite record? Things like that. So, and again, coordinating all the artists' traffic at any record store out there. I'm, coordinating and executing. That was my job as a Black Music Product Development Coordinator. And I did that for a year before I got my first official independent label job, specifically a label, not a distributor, Jive Records, in the DMV, Jive Records. I came back to DC in 98, and I've been here ever since. Working for Jive before we had a few changes, merger. And that's the crazy thing. I've always ducked the axe. It's been like so many mergers and changes, and it's like, yo. And my job is covering the entire Mid-Atlantic region, Northeast. I go as far as Rochester, Syracuse, Albany. I don't do New York City. All the way down, Philly, Baltimore, DMV, Richmond, Raleigh, and I go as far south in North Carolina as Greensboro. So Greensboro up is my territory. You know what I'm saying? For radio, and it's my job to get records played on the radio. I'm responsible for anybody in any of these markets. If you've ever heard Chris Brown, it's because of what I did. You know what I'm saying? All these and people who do what I do and people who do what I do, we're the reason why you're hearing these records. Right now, anybody in any of those markets, all the way down, the first time you've ever heard Breezy is because of me. Flat out. The first time you ever heard Bryce Tiller. The first time you ever heard SZA. The first time you ever heard what? Petey Pablo. First time you've ever heard Khalid. I don't know about the first time, but if you've ever met if you've ever met Joe in the last 20 years at a meet and greet, it's because of me. If you've ever met SZA through the radio station at a meet and greet in any of those markets, it's because of me. You seen me there. You know what I'm saying? If you've ever met, yeah. So that's what we do. I mean, flat out, things like for the first probably 10 years of Chris Brown's career, because everything is different now. But for the first 10 years of Chris Brown's career, in any of those markets, if you have ever met him, because I executed that, you know, because this was back, before, you know, yeah, and before the meet and greet started costing, before the meet and greets hit you over the head. Before you could, you used to have to know me, you know what I'm saying? But now them meet and greets hit you over the head, and who started that? Britney and them Backstreet Boys and them Sync them. I don't know if it was Britney or Backstreet. One of them was the first to start charging for meet and greets, and they was hitting them over the head like, what? Yep. And that's another thing. I was back, Jive in the early days when we were selling physical copies, a million a week. When Britney, Backstreet, NSYNC, 'cause they was the first to be doing that, a million the first week, sold, scanned. Like, yeah. Well, come to think, I had to go do you got to go do the due diligence, see what was scanned and what was shipped, but it wasn't fluke. It wasn't like, listen, their fan base was buying it. Their fan base was buying it. And that's one of the reasons why labels were blind to the, streaming revolution. Yup. Yup. The digital revolution. They were blind and missed the boat on getting on it early. But we ain't gonna get into that yet. We ain't gonna get into that yet. That's later on down the line. But nonetheless, my job was, getting airplay. And anytime you see an artist moving around, the radio. Initially, almost everything, like the clubs and, you know what I'm saying? I'm the point person. If we got to go to a record store, I mean, they with me all day. The artist is specifically with me all day from the moment they get off the plane until they get on. I'm moving them in the city. Other than that, if they're on tour, they come do a show and they out. But if they're on tour and come do a show and they go to a radio station, that's because we doing that. Because I'm doing that. Yeah, I did that basically, yeah. Yeah. Up until, and that's the reason why I'm doing this is because a lot of people aren't aware. And I'm like, damn. Well, I didn't make a public post about it, but, I'm no longer full-time with a record label. We independent. We independent. My last job working with RCA Records was June 10th of last year, June 10th, 2025. June 10th, 2025. And because, as far as with Conscious Crusade, this is my, we've been teaching, got my yoga certification December of 2014. Taught my first class February of 2015. So this is 11 years this year around this time. Yep. So yeah, this is, that's wild. So yeah, February of 2015 is when I've taught my first yoga class, and I've been teaching yoga elite class at least once a week ever since then. Yep, at least once a week. And a lot of people didn't know that I, lost my full-time job. So I was like, let me let people know. And again, my entire career working for major record labels. Like I know people who know people who know people. You know what I'm saying? I can still, we still moving and shaking. We still definitely connected and plugged in. I got real solid relationships. I don't know everything, but I definitely know, yeah, I mean, I've tried my hand with the management before, but management, and that's another topic to talk about because that's a very thankless position. You know what I'm saying? managing an artist. It can be. It can be. But you know, everything reverts back to the artist at the end of the day. At the end of the day, everything reverts back to the artist. And if the artist is willing to work, it's a different platform, but you still got to work and work smarter these days, but you got to work. And the work is even surrounding yourself with the right people. That's also part of the work. But this is what we're gonna call this behind the beat. Yeah. So if y'all got questions or something y'all wanna, ask me, like again, we over my entire career, up including internship, we over 33 years, baby. Why did I get let go? Well, they eliminated the position. Come on, man. The platform of everything is changing. Ain't nobody safe. I mean, AI is, whew, that is the death of us, but that is racing us to the grave. But you can't get around it. It is vital that you understand it and leverage it and learn how to use it. Artificial intelligence. It is a gift and a super curse. It is a gift and a super curse. Look at it. You know what I'm saying? I ain't unique. Everybody's, but you pivot. You pivot. And speaking of pivoting, I mean, look, I ain't got no full-time job, but I got, look, I got some value. Hit that Comey link. You know what I'm saying? We got my Mighty Wealthy Wellness Tonic. And y'all know, you know what I'm saying? Those who know, it's all natural ingredients, several herbs, all natural ingredients, right? They've been cut, fermented for 2 weeks, bottled and brought to you by yours truly, by these hands. These hands. You know what I'm saying? Can be spicy because it does have scotch bonnet peppers. It's got garlic. It's got horseradish. It's got apple cider vinegar. It's got ginger. It's got onions. And it's got turmeric. Those ingredients, fermented, bottled, and brought to you. Yeah, the Mighty Wealthy Wellness Tonic. Everything is natural, so the taste may vary. I've also got the Master Me Yoga Coloring Book. It's not just for kids, it's for everybody. Coloring is a great meditative exercise. It is a great stress reliever. Got that coloring book available. I got the Crusader Cues box, your toolbox of cues for traditional poses. And they, you know what I'm saying, these poses, man, they help you deal with the stress. I am so grateful for my yoga practice because I'm here to tell you, man, that breath work, whoo, yeah, that breath work, honestly, help to calm the central nervous system, man. Those poses can help. They absolutely beneficial. This is a centuries old practice, mindful movement. But yeah, all that is in the Comey link and it's available. These are valuable tools, you know what I'm saying, that we creating over here. And let me know what you interested in, you know? Because again, y'all know me, I mean, I'm around here, I got this, and we can talk about that too. I got this Yucca app that gives you you scan the barcode and it tells you all the chemicals you got in your food, and it kind of ranks them. Like if it's red, don't do it. If it's yellow, it's in. Yellow, green, that's a go. It ranks the food in order of, parabens and toxins and all that stuff that they put in the food. Because some of the stuff all the toxins that they're putting in our foods. Because some of the stuff, you'd be surprised. You think something is healthy, but it's really not. It's really not. But yeah, so this behind the beat. The reason why I'm starting this series is again because a lot of people they like, damn, I ain't know you wasn't working. Nah, oh, I might have some stuff for you. Hey, bring it, bring it. Look, my time is my time. Shit, yeah, man. So yeah, that's why. And again, I got some valuable things I can share, but let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. So behind the beat. All right. Don't forget to follow me on all my social media and go to my website too, consciouscrusade.com. It's got everything there. Consciouscrusade.com. All right. Thanks. Peace.